Drive a loaded 93 Ranger for just $199 per month for 20.
Looked away, then looked again and wondered, what is that? Could it be a UFO? Well, there's a town just a few hours away where that kind of thing happens all the time. The residents of Gulf Breeze, Florida will tell you when it comes to UFOs, seeing is believing. At first glance, Gulf Breeze, Florida looks just like any other coastal city, an ideal vacation spot for families looking for fun in the sun. But when the sun goes down, this place becomes something of a mecca, where pilgrims come and turn their eyes to the skies. And at least a few times each month, their patience is rewarded.
The most common sighting that we have seen has been a bright cherry red light that would be hovering in the sky, that would travel, independent of wind direction, never making a sound.
Witnesses say sometimes after a few moments, the red light turns white. And in this particular sighting, the light seemed to split, and then one circled the other. You might be wondering if maybe everyone's just seeing a plane, helicopter, or other earthly aircraft. But the members of the group pride themselves on being able to tell the difference. For example, on the night we joined them for Skywatch, we saw this, and the group quickly pointed out that this was actually two jets.
Yeah, I hear it.
They don't see something every night, but that doesn't stop them from coming here. In fact, one of the regulars wears her UFO necklace for good luck, and it seems to be working. Now, how long have you been coming out here?
For about 3 years, 3 or 4.
Have you had any sightings?
About 180. I no longer have any doubt whatsoever. This is not something that the government's doing. It's something that has not been identified. I'd just like to know. That's the big question.
Many of the Skywatch regulars became interested in UFOs after a personal encounter. Art Hufford is a local chemical engineer. He describes a sighting he experienced a few years ago.
When my wife and I were on our way home one afternoon and saw this craft hovering above trees, and it looked like nothing we had ever seen before. And a few weeks later, we were surprised to discover that a photographer had taken photographs of a craft that looked very similar to what we had seen.
You may be wondering how all of this began. What caused all of this attention to be focused on this small, quiet community? To answer that, we have to go back nearly 5 years ago to November 11th, 1987, when a man named Ed Walters says he saw something in the sky, something that inspired him to write the book, The Gulf Breeze Sightings. In the book, Walters says he had numerous encounters with UFOs and was even able to capture some of them on film and videotape. His case was thoroughly investigated, and the pictures authenticated by experts through analysis and comparison with the photos and the actual sites. Still, there are skeptics. Some people claim he was simply seeing airplanes or experimental craft from a nearby naval air base. And then, recently, there were reports that a model had been discovered in his former home. Some critics claimed he used this model to create the photographs, but Ed denied it.
You can clearly see 8 black rectangles here, windows if you will, whereas you see 5 here. The size is crown-shaped, whereas this is very elongated.
Watch this videotape closely as something shoots across the screen. Did you miss it? Watch again. Those who believe the UFOs are genuine say recent sightings support their beliefs. This particular videotape of a rare daylight sighting was taken just a few months ago in Gulf Breeze. You'll notice as the craft hovers, then shoots out to the right very quickly. In fact, experts estimate this craft is traveling at more than 2,000 miles per hour. Photographs and videotape continue to emerge, so the question remains, just what is in the skies over Gulf Breeze? Now that last piece of videotape, the daylight where the thing shoots off to the right, people are real excited about that down in Gulf Breeze. That's the first time that tape's ever been shown on TV, by the way. They were very nice to let me bring that up here and make the world premiere here. I don't know what it is. They're not real sure what it is, but it's got everybody stirred up. This town, they're known now for the Gulf Breeze sightings. In fact, we picked up a T-shirt while we were there, and they've even got one of the most famous pictures on the back. There's the UFO right there. Yeah, so, some people say, gosh, I wish we didn't have all this attention focused on us, and others say maybe we can learn something from this.
Now, there is an organization that those who are interested or I guess, want to learn more about UFO sightings can get involved in?
It's called MUFON, and it's the Mutual UFO Network, and there are chapters all over the country. In fact, the people down in Gulf Breeze, Gary Watson and Bland Pugh, who are with this group, helped me out. And let me point out, the one thing that I was really impressed with about these people is they're very credible. These are people who have, scientific jobs in some cases. They do very scientific experiments to try to analyze these pictures. They don't just assume that everything that's reported is a UFO. So we're going to have more on this tomorrow. We're going to talk about what's happening right here in our neighborhood with UFOs tomorrow night.
How do you feel about this? Well, hang in there. I have a great amount of interest in it, in hearing the stories.
A lot of people do. I do know one thing. Rain is finally on the way, at least for some of us. David Neal is up next with the details.
And what's in the bottom of the lock at Chickamauga Dam? We will show you next.